Turn into a furry and let me ride you.
But
Ahoy, jitters and gentlemen, and that technicolor rainbow in between. I bid you a good morrow, and I hope you have been feeding yourself well. Have you fucking ate your greens and grains?
Yeah, I hope you really like him, you unhealthy bastard. Yeah, you like those unhealthy cookies that are made of compressed shit and make your poops even worse than Taco Bell breakfast? Yeah, you like that, don't you?
what's wrong with you?
Now, aside from unsettling monologues, today's a very peculiar day. I have invited you to a very amateurish and schizophrenic odyssey with my favorite franchise of gaming. And today is not the last video I'm making of it.
Fuck yeah!
I am gonna take you back to when I first moved to the States. The great world of obesity, chromosomes, devolution in education, and religious undertone repression. Man, I'm already feeling at home. All I need is a fucking Volan on a Brycing raid. God, I have too much time on my hands, but at the same time I feel like I don't have enough time. I moved to this country before the 2010s started, right at the corner of a new decade, and it is when I had finally my Wii, a generation that even with its childish nature, it really brought its attention throughout the gaming industry. In any social circle, there was at least one motherfucker that had a Wii, and everyone liked that motherfucker. That motherfucker had all the boys and girls drooling over his ass. Motherfucker would be the most dysfunctional jackass, but still have everyone laugh with their Wii. Motherfucker with a Wii would definitely come to a party that had a Wii. But if no Wii, then no motherfucker. Motherfucker would hack the shit out of his Wii and show off their retro games without paying shit. Motherfucker was still a dysfunctional mess, but we had a Wii. Hi, I'm Motherfucker.
Motherfucker, I'm Tyrone. Man, I'm gonna knock you out.
The reality is that having a Wii opened very specific doors, but during this time I was still adjusting to a new life. It wasn't an easy life, but aside from culture shock and the language barrier, I really enjoyed adapting. Also, you fuckers are very behind on math, like for whatever reason, you need to still learn algebra and geometry in high school. While my experience in here is besides the point, I do remember vividly that only one thing kept me impulsively going, and that is a game that to this day I have had on 3 consoles: the GameCube, the Wii, and the Wii U. It was the first game of a franchise that was released on 2 consoles at the same time. The game is Twilight Princess. Not that Twilight Princess, but this Twilight Princess. This one looks fucking badass. But let's go back a little, when the internet was becoming a little more developed lad and was now showing us how the gaming industry has adapted. During this time, many companies have adapted to the dark and edgy tune of the industry. Fuck, they gave Shadow a gun, and Russian Knuckles most definitely port.
Oh no!
You got games to be invited for a cup of coffee and then get the Glock Glock 3000. You got bulky ass Rudy Tooty emo shooty motherfuckers, and of course those little extra ones that get detailed with realism in their graphics to show that they are greedy enough with the fucking times.
How do you do, fellow kids?
After the double kerfuffle that Nintendo had for a while of being seen as the company for children, Miyamoto decided, after having a couple smokes at work and many arguments with his main developer designer that kept going home early to have unrelenting sex with his unhinged wife waiting at home. Yes, I'm not kidding. The boos are inspired by someone's wife that was very fucking shy when meeting the colleagues of Nintendo, but at home? Where was I going with this shit? Oh yeah, Nintendo doing edgy shit. Sorry, I forgot.
Oh no!
Around this time, we had released a couple games that are a bit more mature than usual. Towards the end of the GameCube era, we saw a lot of franchises going for more adult tones and visuals. And finally, they decided to do a flip on Zelda. They regretted making Wind Waker so childish, and then they turned to the total opposite. And the world was more than hype, they were orgasming. This little show is what many people were waiting from Zelda, me included. This franchise having a Link ready for combat and against a dark essential world unlike any other. I remember being introduced to it little by little over the years, but what got me hyped was the front cover. Ooh, Link truly does look fucking menacing, and is he gonna have a companion dog finally, or is he gonna turn into a werewolf? Now, what really was happening was that Link now could turn into a wolf. How? Oh boy, let me tell you how in a bit. But first, Jesus, the fucking trailers, the publicity of this game was on a whole nother level. They brought their A game to this game's attention, and everyone ate it up. Even me, I fucking gobbled. When I first got this game, I was fucking ecstatic. It was like finding my prostate. When you first load the game, the intro. The intro. Imagine seeing Link galloping upon the horse once more, and with the visuals expressing the beauty, the gloom of Hyrule, in all of its detailed beauty, and finally, a conclusive intro that just makes my fucking skin tremble. Just watch. God, I could still feel them to this day, and without pressing any buttons, the game has another fucking intro which has a huge montage of what is to come, showing the player the power of the symphonic orchestra of the goddesses and what is to come. This game truly shows the stakes at hand, and what one has to be prepared to face for courage is the key to wielding a sword. The responsibility of that is what Twilight Princess taught me. I'm not going to go into many fucking gloomy details, but this was my favorite game in the franchise for over a decade, and to this day, I still think it holds not just a candle, but the torch to the modern video games of the franchise. It did what no other franchise did and took a step to make one truly feel that this was an adventure of Twilight, for light and darkness coexist with one another. But to embrace the light, one must know darkness first, and through this adventure, not just the player learns it, but Link. Let's ride forth on this highway. Wait, no.
Excellent choice. You know, not to tell tales out of school, but I sucked my first jug to this song.
Nope. We are done with that. Now look at what you've done. My credibility just fucking jumped out of the window. Well, I guess I could use my trunk again. In this world of wonderful detailed visuals and beautiful lighting, we see Link as a farm boy that the kids look up to and the people feel trusted with. Link is a wonderful herder with a horse that you can name. Fuck yeah! While the designs from cartoony to realistic do not translate well, I still think some of them do hit the jackpot. especially Link's love interest, Illia. You see, Link has lived here for some time and the mayor's daughter has taken a huge liking to him. Also, Russell, a great mentor figure to Link who is in his path to make a huge contract with Hyrule, as Ordon Village is one of the biggest providers for the land. He wants to present to the royal family a blade crafted from Ordon, a special for knights. And Link is invited to this trip, but also he might be chosen to be a knight for Hyrule. Also, the kids get into a kerfuffle with some apes and then Link has to save them, and it shows Link's prowess with a blade. Also, Illia is now mad at Link for riding Epona too hard. Link sneaks into the spring where Illia locks herself with Epona, and they have a small tender moment as Illia makes Link promise to never face something outside his league. The warmth and care oozes out of the screen as I remember. I thought one thing.
We are about to
But in all due honesty, the caring of Illia is something that really inspires a player throughout this adventure, and this is something that really is focused on. But we get interrupted by King Boblin, who summons a dark gate on the sky and Link gets knocked out cold. Of course, we wake up and rush towards heroism path, and then we find a very unsettling sight as a fucking hand pulls Link inside. Now, being manhandled by Tyrone over here, Link this time from the beginning resonates with the Triforce and repels this being, but the dark essence forces him to transform. We are imprisoned thanks to Tyrone, and with a weird place and an imp-looking ginger that helps Link, but not out of benevolence, but of servitude. For she has one goal, and she will do anything for it. We rush around to get used to the controls, and honestly, I got my ass handed to a tiny little monster. Also, in this Dark Essence, people are not alive or dead. And as a wolf, one can interact with these lost souls. Also, all creatures look fucking menacingly horrid. They are all pitch black with bloody markings on them. All the sound effects and music with their presence is uncomfortable and unsettling. Oh, but what made me the most uncomfortable is the Karga rocks. This headless, glitchy, bloody-faced wind fuck gave me nightmares with those honking sounds that would tremor and echo with the uncomfortable and unsettling music. You can tell Nintendo took this inspiration from other sources, such as Silent Hill with their music and ambience. And of course, the monster designs look a lot like H.R. Geiger's designs and H.P. Lovecraft inspiration for sure. We push through this castle as we reach the top after parkouring. And atop we find this shadowy figure that ends up being Princess Zelda. She explains to Link how this monstrous man called Zant had overtaken not only Hyrule Castle, but all of the land of Hyrule in one fell swoop. Now this is how you introduce a villain, menacing design, intimidating dialogue, and the fact that he can make all of this happen with so little effort and still enact fear with just the idea of him. God, I can't wait to beat the shit out of him.
Uh-huh. He is known throughout the galaxy as the most terrifying and evil person there is. Really? He's conquered hundreds of planets and slaughtered billions of people. Stop it! Stop getting excited!
We escape and finally we face the fact that Midna is blackmailing Link with the safety of every kid in Illia in exchange for his servitude. Now that glare Link gives to Midna proves that he is about to rip her throat apart, but he can't. It's a small glimpse to Link's brutal anger, but it also shows his composure and responsible tenacity. I hated Midna at first, but this is the best companion the franchise has ever had. Someone with sarcastic sass, and I am all up for it. Oh, by the way, this is Midna. Say hi to Midna. Hi! Arriving at the same spring we once were and facing Tyrone again to have a gate available for us to use. Again, I ate shit here originally. As a teenager, I thought this was badass, but the combat music was anxious-inducing, and the way the Twilight messengers move is uncanny. Also, Midna is still with us, but because she is a creature of shadow, she cannot be physically in the world of light. The spirits of light that guard Hyrule have all been tortured and drained of their light, and these parasites in every area contain them. They have a ghost form and can only be hunted with the wolf ghost sense. Also, as Link comes back to Ordon Village, he is pushed back by the people in a very violent way. It weighs on the sensation of urgency, and who can blame them? They all lost their children to dark creatures, and dark-looking furry comes to the village. Of course they're gonna use lethal force. Nevertheless, after acquiring Sword and Shield, we then search through the Twilight once more. The Twilight realm is a fusion of shadow and light to create an eternal crepuscular ambience. And it really hits visually and auditory over here in battle.
Oh no!
Finally, we fight Tyrone and his friends Jamal and CJ, but CJ the DJ plays his mixtape and revives them once more. This enacts the fact that the Twilight creatures are undead, even more uncanny, and after defeating them another portal will open, and as we venture forth we can communicate with animals to learn more of the world in their view. Again, Midna helps us with some doggy parkour. Parkour! And we hunt down the light vessel parasites one by one and reclaim the Farron Roots. With the light back in the forest, Link can now use the hero's tunic. This design I fucking love. It shows the age of the tunic and also the chainmail beneath it. It is just perfect. You can tell that it has been patched over the years. And of course, we take Sword and Shield deep in the forest to find a dead tree that is where the apes were originally. With the help of one of them through the Miasma Lake, we then enter the Forest Temple. The Forest Temple resides this time within a huge trunk of a dead tree, hinting that in this world there is no Deku tree and the monsters— oh god! I fucking love the realism, but why do you have to make the spiders scary? At least it's the only ones I find, right? Right?
Oh gosh. You know, I'm not much on speeches, but it's so gratifying to leave you wallowing in the mess you've made. You're screwed. Thank you. Bye.
Passing through the Forest Temple, we help more apes that eventually help Link to get to the boss room, and a fucking big-bootied mandrill that holds the Gale Boomerang. Not only is this the first mini-boss in the game, but the first dungeon weapon, one that works so much better than any boomerang in the franchise. I mean, it's fucking useful in Smash Brothers, why wouldn't it? Pushing through this overgrown temple with tribal leftovers, we finally face the boss. And because the boss is out of Link's league, the mandrill from before now helps him to face this Twilight creature, and with this, we learn 3 things. Eins, that the combination for combat is more so phase, but it will require Link to adapt in a quick-paced environment. Dive, when Link is hitting the boss directly, the music changes into a theme called Advantage. And Trez, the fucking defeated music is so fucking cathartic and epic that a full choir and orchestra just make it a full orgasm. Just... Up until now, everything was to acquire a piece of an artifact called the Fuse Shadow, an item that can help Midna face Zant in the future with her magic. Now this was a tutorial dungeon. It was a way to help the player learn puzzling, environment adaptation, and monster combat. Oh, and I forgot to mention that outside the Forest Temple, we encountered this golden wolf. Link instinctively sees this tall warrior in a rotten armor as an enemy, but at his attack, Link gets countered and scolded like a bitch.
How could this happen to me? I made my mistakes! Got nowhere to run!
This is called the Hero Shade, a warrior that tells Link he is not up to the level he needs to be if he wants to save someone, and so he teaches him the first and most important of many hidden Soul Master skills, the finishing blow.
Hi, I'm gonna call you Boney. You want me to press B to blow?
This is one attack that with bosses is very fucking useful, and any combat can be ended to a fallen enemy getting impaled brutally. Also, the music of this training is fucking badass. This is when Link shall take on the mantle of a swordsman. In this game, the necessity of gadgets is more physical than with other games. No magic, as this hero shall use muscles only, and 5 with the skills of his sword mastery. And off we go towards Hyrule. Once the trumpet hits, as soon as one comes out of Orden Land, Hyrule Field is once more in my screen, and honestly, it is fucking beautiful. The tempo, the ambience, the sights. Oh, fuck! When I was younger and hearing this, for me it wasn't a new adventure. It felt like Link returned to Hyrule Field, and the land welcomed him into his path to avenge his fallen home. That is what this music conveys to me, even to this day. And as we venture forth, Midna guides us to the next spot of the Fuse Shadow, which is Death Mountain. And a very familiar one where Kakariko Village resides, embellished by Twilight like Orden and Farron, but now affecting an area where the kids reside. We learn that here are the children safe but scared, and with this, the way becomes heavier. And one thing that is different this time, as in the light world, one finds out that the Gorons have no amicable relationship with the rest of Hyruleans. Now, how about we go in? This puts Link in a very long quest, not just to save this area of Twilight, but to learn from the mayor of Orden, the one man that in the past learned sumo from the Gorons, that in order to face them not in weapon combat but in bare hand combat, earn their respect, and to venture into the depths of Death Mountain. for the Inferno awaits, for Link has to overcome these fires and the fires of his own downfalling. Also, as Wolf Link, you have the ability to actually follow the scent and smell of the people that you already know. This will help you recognize and follow different trails, and in the Twilight world, this is fucking useful. Also, the fucking light vessels, they are really fucking aggressive, so you have to be ready. And King Boebling comes back to Kakariko village with Epona and threatens the safety of the children with no remorse. But how can one single swordsman face the darkness, the avernum, and the fear and pain of war? One cannot, one must, for this is the way.
Have come and gone, traveled far, the road's been hard, trying to survive, trying to stay alive, still nowhere that I can go, shattered by my struggle, with my flag in the ground, I won't back down, I need to find a way, I need to find a way. You can take my home, you can break my bones, tear me apart.
Link faced a restless struggle one after another, and with this, he was able to amend the brotherhood between Gorons and villagers, ensure the safety of the children, recover the elders of Death Mountain from the Forsaken Mines, and to save Colin from an unspeakable fate. But this doesn't leave Colin traumatized, for Colin has been the kid that looks up to Link the most. Not because he wants to be a warrior, but because he wants to put safety and happiness in the lives of the others, just like Link does. I was very young, but this showed me the growth of Link's path towards becoming a knight without being knighted. Because a knight's purpose is not just to protect with sword and shield, but to also amend and assure those for their safety. And honestly, that's something that has inspired me, and I'm pretty sure has inspired many others. Of course, all the jolly bantering can wait because Midna is fucking impatient and now encloses to Link that they must now go back into the area of Hyrule and to also follow the path of the rivers. A path that in order to recover the next few Shadow, one must go where no Hyrulean has ever dared to make a step. Link here can finally explore within the Twilight Hyrule Castle, but it's rather somber to know that this place is but a ghost town.
But figuratively, and very literally.
Though we are meant to pass through this area just for some reckoning and scouting, we communicate with different animals and encounter a man cursed by Poes. You see these Grim Reaper motherfuckers? These are Poes, and the most badass sign of this enemy since the franchise was created. And only Wolf Link can attack them and rip them apart, for in the light they are invisible, but they can still hit like a truck. And while exploring around, we come to a tavern, a small bar that looks sort of like a D&D gathering for a guild, where finally we find Illia. Illia seems to have lost her memory due to a heavy traumatic experience, and she barely can even function. But one thing is for sure, she wants to help this kid that she encountered abandoned. But the doctor cannot do anything about him, just like modern medicine, and so he will most likely die if not cared for soon, just like modern medicine.
Shut up!
In the light world, Link will overhear this conversation and see the cowardice of the royal knights, and so he will volunteer to save this child who is the prince of the Zoras. Taking this quest shall put responsibility of the safety of these women and the Zora prince as they ride to Kakariko, but of course, Bolin will come to harass violently, and another rematch with their king. And in the Twilight Realm, we learn how the Zoras not only are they disconnected from being hostile to Hyruleans, but their kingdom has been forsaken and frozen completely, and the invasion of the shadow creatures took many lives, including the life of the queen. The Queen of the Zoras recognizes Link's actions and endows him with the Zora Knight armor, which will help him breathe underwater for the path towards the Lake Beth Temple, where the few Shadow will be dormant, and in the Twilight Realm to complete the Light Vessel quest for good, concluding with the skills of a wolf to be tested in all regards, which is the longest Light Vessel quest ever, with a little bit of a hint at the end. Also, I must add that the Water Temple in here has almost the same location as the Ocarina of Time Water Temple, which doesn't get it past me that it might be the same one but modded, just like in Dodonga's Cavern has the same location as the Goron Mines in this game. It wouldn't be past me that some of these dungeons are just reconciliations of the past. A long quest that will take Link through many harrowing ways and risks of drowning, a quest to recover the most powerful of all light spirits in Hyrule, and one that shall test Link's resolve and tenacity. In all due honesty, the battles and confrontations through the water side of this journey are tremendous, and as a player, it shows me the immense growth and strength this Link has. We also learn of the fate of the Fused Shadow, where it came from, and why it was forsaken in the darkness. For in the old times, way after the creation of Hyrule, a tribe of sorcerers dabbled into dark magic, and eventually tried to use the Triforce for their own. This made all of Hyrule vanquish into a war for years, until the goddesses intervened with the birth of the light spirits to seal away the tribe that eventually was forsaken away from the light realm. It is the consequence and weight of using something so powerful. Now, this cutscene is fucking bonkers. It is infamous in the franchise, and to this day, we don't know why the fuck it still makes one fucking uncomfortable. Just like a fucking groping from the bishop.
Why don't you have a seat?
After conquering the light and darkness, we are stopped by Zant, the man who sees all life as collateral, and even with Link's power, he is nothing more than a mere maggot to Zant. Not even the light spirit could touch him, as he now grapples on Midna with violent surge, and his dialogue and music really hits the uncanniness. This is a very hateable villain beyond belief, not just the way he manhandles Midna and how he has made her and Link's lives miserable, but it also shows his manipulative powers as Midna even considers working under him. But for her rejection, Zant puppeteers the light spirit and purifies Midna, and Link, now even in the light world, transforms into a wolf, as he is permanently infected. Zant truly faced the player's gambit and destroyed it. It is a pedestal of adversity unlike any other, and I could do nothing about it. This failure is not just shown emotionally, it shows visually and in gameplay, as one hears that heart-wrenching theme, Midna's Lament. Here, Midna needs to be taken through Hyrule Castles to sneak as a wolf to Princess Zelda, but unfortunately Midna cannot help as she has used the last of her energy with that teleportation, all to save Link.
She wants the dick!
Sneaking inside carefully to not be killed or targeted is not easy. Using all the skills learned as a wolf to overcome, finally, we reach Hyrule Castle once more. But once there, the outcome is even more harrowing. To this point, Zelda had to stay as a trophy for Zant, as her being there was what has kept Hyrule alive in a way. And with Midna's death nearing, she decides to give up her life force in order to help Midna survive. And as soon as her sacrifice is enacted, one must escape once more. But we know that the anger of Zant reflects in how he seals Hyrule Castle in a never-flowing Twilight zeal. Just to keep everyone away, he encountered his loss, and he has made the next step to hinder Midna and Link's journey.
He's an asshole, sir.
After this entire debacle, Midna takes Link to another path, but not one for her, but for him. For one thing that was taken down generation after generation was about some force that had the power to purify any darkness. Something that Midna hopes will cure Link from the eternal shadow virus within him. And as we venture back to Faron, we then take steps towards a hidden area one known as the Lost Woods. These are the leftovers of the Lost Woods, the sacred grove, the overgrown in such a way that it looks like here used to be a civilization, and in here we encounter the Skull Kid. Skull Kid was a character that was found in Ocarina and eventually was a main character in another game. But apparently he still lives and resides here, as he challenges Wolf Link with his puppets. It is enigmatic in a way, as we know Link is a dark creature just like Midna, and in here, Skull Kid sees them as a threat, as he playfully fights them, showing that even though he is the last remaining being in the Lost Woods, he still will protect it. And after passing through this labyrinth of a forest and then a motherfucking puzzle that took me months to take and I gave up, I had to fucking go to Best Buy and get the fucking guy to pass this puzzle. Fuck you, Nintendo! But after beating this puzzle, I was able to venture into a strange grove, an area with a lot of Hylian symbolism and an essence of peace, and here to recite the blade of evil's bane, the Master Sword. This is what Midna had known that would help purify Link at least, to get near it to be affected, but Link is not just affected, as the sword's force pushes both him and Midna, and he tenaciously pushes stronger and harder towards the blade. Now, I have said it before, pulling the Master Sword is both visually and mystically holding power incarnate. Now imagine the forest, the wind, the land is all against you. You are not welcome. You are unworthy to Hyrule. But as you come closer, you finally hold within your grip the blade as it recognizes you. And finally, you can pull the blade as it acknowledges you as its rightful owner. The wind, the land, the forest, all of Hyrule echoes in a choir of acceptance and worship as the Master Sword has found the legendary hero. Now with that description, just watch and feel it.
Can you do that?
This is the most impactful scene of Link obtaining the Master Sword. God, it feels like the first time still. Fucking had an orgasm when seeing this. And no, I'm not talking about back then. Right now, I just fucking sploosh all over my keyboard. But now that we have the Master Sword, the journey shall continue, one that will take us to lands yet to be conquered and discovered. Midna finally opens up as she tells of Link of how she had come to the Light World, as she is part of the Twili, the same tribe that was originally sealed by the force of the Triforce and Light Spirits. And for generations they have lived in that realm of shadow, survived and made it their home, but eventually her throne was usurped, as she, being the Princess of Twilight Realm, she held responsibility for the safety of her people. But Zant overthrowing her and becoming the new leader as he put the Twili into a war against Hyrule, one that he has amassed with mysterious power nobody has ever had, not even Midna. And Midna, she found her own piece of a fused shadow. She then promised herself to do whatever it took to take down Zant, even using the lives of others. With the growth Midna has suffered, it shows the bond between Link and Midna that they had made, and how up to this point, every adversity brought them even closer. This is a lesson for many, that even in the darkest times and in the most harrowing moments, we can still find something or someone to count on. But nevertheless, this path is not at the end yet, for the next quest shall be the longest Link shall take, a quest that shall make him the champion knight of the Twilight Princess, the hero of Twilight. We go through arduous small little quests to encounter a way to reforge a fucking cannon that shall take Link to a very familiar land, the Gerudo Desert. Here we traverse through hot sand and shadowy nights, and very unknown creatures that challenge all senses. It is way easier to traverse as a wolf, but to pass through as a knight, one has to find a camp of boblins and fucking ride a pig to go deja vu. Of course, the path is not easy, but this shall take Link towards the sacred area where the legendary Mirror of Twilight resides. But for that, one must pass through a cursed area by the undead, the Gerudo Arbiter's grounds. A place that seems both for resting the dead and training, maybe a place for preparations for war. It would make sense with the history, but one thing is clear, there are no Gerudo natives to be found, and the only living beings are undead or the Bulblings, and their combat and weapons are sort of similar to what one would call the Gerudo. Though the Twili have red hair, and that could also be the Gerudo from being sealed after the entire debacle from Ocarina of Time. But passing through this cursed place, Midna enrages like no one before as she finds the Mirror of Twilight completely shattered. You see, this is why I fucking love Midna. She's not like your typical female character in video games. She doesn't put her hands in her mouth and just go, oh, no. She fucking gets pissed and is willing to fucking impale someone the first moment she finds them. As we check the Twilight Mirror, only one piece remains, but this completely breaks her hopes, as she wanted to go back to the Twilight Realm and recover the fused shadow, making a fight against Zant where she thrives, in the darkness, with Link by her side. But we learn not just of this, but of what happened here originally. You see, the sages of the elements are now spirits that remain in the light, the sages of the original temples from Ocarina of Time, as they devoted their afterlives to secure Hyrule, and one of their duties was to execute an evil man, one that deserved more than death, Ganondorf Dragmire. Oh shit, I did not know we went on full name basis, Ganondorf. What is this, Dragmire? Why the fuck not just name yourself McLovin if you're trying to make a last name?
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
This time, when Ganondorf was executed for his plans to conquer Hyrule before they could be enacted, thanks to the Hero of Time when he went back in time. But one thing they did not expect is for Ganondorf to be a beholder of a Triforce of power. Ganondorf suddenly takes the spirit of a sage and erases it from existence, as he then steals the same holy blade that tried to kill him, and he is sealed into the Twilight Mirror as a desperate struggle. Up to this point, we thought Zant of being the original villain of this story, but this means that Ganondorf had been sealed inside the Twilight Realm for ages. And finally, Zant came back with power beyond the capacity of the Twili, which means Ganondorf must still be alive. At the very least, we learn of the places Midna and Link must go to conquer the Mirror of Twilight. Far from the rivers to the snowy tundra, reigned by the silence of a cold. The heavens where bird people shall be. Oh yeah, by the way, in every dungeon you find this bitch called Oko, with her weird music. Nintendo, why do you give a bird tits? So, we find them in every dungeon, every time, as she references with her son that they are lost from their land of the skies, their heavenly world. As we fix the canon, we will be able to go to their city rampant by a dragon. And one more place, one that became a dungeon like no other, one that I both love and hate, the Temple of Time, which must be endowed by the Hero of Time's power to go into the past, from the Sacred Grove, to be able to face this temple and its hidden dungeon, which will test many familiarities for a player of Zelda, and the sword skills and patience of Link, and my fucking mental health too. Oh my god!
I'm not much on speeches, but it's so gratifying to leave you wallowing in the mess you've made. You're screwed. Thank you. Bye.
But with all of these, one must conquer not just creatures of Twilight with fang and claws, but with sword and shield to complete the rest of the hidden sword master techniques, and to conquer both the light and the dark. For demons exist not just through the night, but through the daylight.
she opened her eyes. I'm certain I can bring her back again. Keep holding on to see the sun again. I know the road will be long, but just know I am never stopping. Along my way there will be suffering. For someone enters I know that could be troubling. Even if I fall or as I stumbling, just know I am never stopping. I'm holding on to hope as the nights grow darker. The scent that I will find as I set my marker. Nothing will escape his eye. Take a breath in and I find a concentration so divine. With black and silver find demons through the night. Nothing will escape his eye. Take a breath in and I find a concentration so divine. With black and silver find demons through the night. Hollowed bodies all around me. Got no choice doing what I see. Wish I could save everybody, but I know what needs to be done. I follow my heart with responsibility, so I won't fall apart. See their eyes in front of me. I'm ready for the start. Keep my focus bound. I know I gotta play this smart. I take a breath and relax my mind. Position myself, close my eyes. Leave any fear I have behind. Feel the strength building inside. I'm holding on to hope as the nights grow darker. The scent that I will find as I set my marker. Nothing will escape his eye. Take a breath in and I find a concentration so divine. With black and silver find demons through the night. Nothing will escape his eye. Take a breath in and I find a concentration so divine. With black and silver find demons through the night.
I'm a foot fetish.
During this entire odyssey, the challenges, fates, and many little things started to bring forth a little light bulb of mine. Firstly, during my galloping of Hyrule Field at night, I noticed something. That is Malon's voice from Ocarina of Time from London Ranch. Now, again, this is a different timeline where the hero of time did not have to turn into an adult, for he returned in time and had Ganon apprehended and went on his own adventure, which is on the search for Navi. But this hints that the hero of time actually reproduced with Malon.
Hey baby girl, what's the— Shut up, dog! You wanna give a partner a ride?
I'd rather give you a ride. Well, if you're 7 years older.
Whoa, that can be arranged. Hold on, I'll bear it back. Oh, yeah. She lied.
It would show why Link is a natural in Twilight Princess when it comes to farming. Also, the Yeti is apparently a character, and before we have seen how the Twilight infection is prevalent to affect others, it did it with one of the Goron elders, and did it with the Yeti's wife too. During the facing of the mini-boss in Gerudo's Arbiter's grounds, the Cursed Blade seal was very similar to the blade from Phantom Ganondorf in Wind Waker. Maybe this was the original form and the original Phantom. The Star-Lord seems in physicality very similar to Volvagia from Ocarina of Time, and many bring out that it might be from the same species of a dragon. Also, remember the Redeads, those motherfuckers? Yeah, on Wind Waker they are scary as shit, but I've gotta say one thing that Twilight did right. Twilight Princess made the fucking Redeads actually look disturbing. Not scary, not fucking shrieking, just disturbing. Oh, and then the Dark Knot. You see, in the past there was a confusion between the Iron Knuckle and the Dark Knot, and so the same name was used for the same enemy since Ocarina of Time. Both were separate enemies before, but in Twilight Princess there is no Iron Knuckle, just a Dark Knot, and they are a fucking beast. As they fight a fair wave with the same skills Link beholds in one-on-one combat, their armor being heavy from sword damage, but with using the master skills one can overcome. But once their armor is down, they go into a swifter combat mode that uses just a rapier, and this one might be slender, but it allows for anti-shield combat at faster swings. The other thing I've wanted to speak is how this time Link upgrades himself with some weaponry and gadgets that have never been seen. He uses the claw shot better than the hook shot as he double arms it and battles warriors from the skies. The biggest thing for me is the fact that Link can upgrade to a sniper scope upgrade, which makes Link into a professional sniper archer.
Be polite. Be efficient. Have a plan to kill everyone you meet.
Oh, and let's not forget, this Link has no magic, so he has no ice and fire arrows, but he can still do damage with bomb arrows. This I see as an evolution to a true weapon meister that has adapted beyond the capacities of a knight. And then, the quest of the Hidden Village. This place is the one that shall allow Link not just to complete his entire main quest, but to help reconcile fully with Epona and to bring back the memories of Illia. But for that, Link must have mastered his marksman skills. Fighting these boblins that overtook a village where a lady that was connected to both the Temple of Time and the Sky Investigation took care of Illia. But her retirement place was overrun by these creatures, and instead of a face-to-face battle, Link can fight them from afar. Of course, there's more inside the houses, but the combat and music is fucking badass. Given it a western-style feel, and the guitar feels at the same level of ambience like the Gerudo theme in Ocarina, and one feels like a true ranger with all of its combined.
18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch. Big heart-throbbing cocks wanted to be sucked.
Of course, one can go back and play the cat finding challenge as a wolf, which is just fucking hilarious. You can also complete the Poe quest of catching all the Poes all over Hyrule both in day and night, and relinquish the quest of his man cursed by Poes and his greed as he rewards you wonderfully. But in the end, it was pointless, cause this guy was dumped long time ago by his girlfriend with a royal knight.
I tried so hard and got so far. In here, the spice and asshole, I had to stop the wounded foul. In here, the spice and asshole. Shut it, suck!
God damn it, does that mean that from now on he's gonna listen to the Andrew Tate podcast?
Yeah.
All of these to fulfill a lot of social interactions and completion for the game, and I love every single bit of it, but so far being able to be recognized by Illia truly brought closure to my heart, and how Colin swore to protect everyone shows the effect Link has on everyone. This, for you see, is not just to make a knight in this adventure, but to make a hero. Chosen by history, a man becomes a warrior, but endowed by their choices, a warrior becomes a hero. This is what made me become invested in the hero of Twilight, for he embodies something that a hero must be. A hero is not recognized by their power or by how many battles they win. A hero is not given the praises and glory by others based on where they come from or where they go. It is what they do with the gift of birth that forges into the knight they become, and the effect they enhance into those they help, and that is what Twilight Princess gave me, the enlightenment of help. Selflessness is not what makes a knight, but a hero, one that will be at its edge of glory to face the unbreakable challenge, just to ensure the safety of others. And it doesn't have to be a battle of a dragon to face, just giving a small bottle of water, or a letter, or helping to have closure to a mourning kid, a lost kin to find themselves, a hopeless and fearful child to find hope and bravery, or for a grudgeful, demoted imp to find appreciation in life of the other side. That is what truly means to be not just any kind of knight, but a true hero. Once the Twilight Mirror is completed, one can finally enter the Twilight Realm, but before that, there is one last thing to do. To finally learn the last skill, the perfect spin, which can only be done with full hearts. Now up to this game, every other rendition of Link has needed magic for the spin attack or more with the sword, but this time, all Link needs is his full strength and all his skills in unison for a spin attack like no other. Of course, my other favorite skills are his monstrous jump smash that has so much devastating force, and the mortal draw, a suicidal slash that needs Link to sheath in his sword and be the one to step away from his victim. It is a one-hit deadly swing of a blade, but with high risk, a fearless attack after all. A sword wields no strength unless the hand that holds it has courage. Those are the last words of a hero's shade, as he farewells with one last dialogue, that his regrets are at ease now, that a new hero can take on the mantle, as that was the hero of time. The Hero of Time had a cruel fate as he ventured forth to a quest to find his long-lost companion, and in his endless journey, he never passed on properly. Having a lost soul that could not rest to the afterlife, stuck. And the thing is, the Temple of Time resides in the Lost Woods, and stall beings exist if they die in the forest areas. The Hero of Time maybe left his sword back on the Temple of Time, but so did he leave his regrets behind for one to take upon them. And this time, the Hero of Twilight can bring peace to both Hyrule and this grieving shadow of a hero.
And now for something completely different.
So we come forth to the Twilight Realm, and it looks fucking harrowing. The music both mystical and unsettling. The Twili looking like fucking Tyrone and his gang. And we find out that here reside the light orbs that shall bless the Master Sword to become a full holy blade. And to purify the cursed darkness of the Twili. This shows them with red hair. They might look humanoid and non-Hyrulean, but they are still people, and oh my god, This entire time, we have been slaying undead Twili form into the Twilight Messengers. Zant is going to fucking die. With the dark magic that he beholds, he has gone mad with frustration, trying his hardest to hinder the path of Link and Midna, and finally to face him in a battle that he hoped not to have. As he expresses his worshipping of a god he encountered in his darkest hour as a servant to Midna. This entire time, Ganondorf has molded into a being of Twilight and resided himself within Zant to give him his power and let that power grow stronger from someone native to the Twilight Realm. And so, Zant enacted his dethroning, but with the sudden tension, he goes insane. He turns into this erratic bastard with no sense of intelligence, a pure relentless monster that has the capacity to stay focused and the skills that Link and Midna had learned up until now, for Zant desires to keep the throne and the end of the world. The fight finally at its conclusion, as Zant only has one smile of orgasmic hope that determines that his god would save him, that his god would erase them. Brutally dismembering Zant, Midna finally acquires a fused shadow to be able to break the spell in Hyrule Castle and begin the path towards the final battle. All of this entire struggle, all of this because of many consequential choices made by both worlds, and both worlds affected, but it has to end one way or another. Midna and Link finally arrive back to Hyrule Castle. Here, Midna uses the ritualistic artifacts of a fused shadow, and as the power surges in her, she gets violently harassed. She can barely handle the dark power within, but suddenly, she transforms! With the seal broken, one can finally come forth into the castle that has an everlasting reign of depression, but a small reign of light symbolizing the hope that the hero has brought. Another side story has developed through this adventure. While Link ventured to all of these lands after his debacle with Zant, this inspired a small group of royal knights to go rogue and start helping Link by clearing him off more challenges, and also researching more of the world of Hyrule in order to help this path to be easier. And one of the royal knights was Russell. Russell was originally endowed by the royal family, but he chose a life of peace until the call of duty befell him once more. And after the search of Twilight, he had to take a homemade armor to help Link with his night path. And so we venture forth into the castle in chaos. The first thing to handle is the outside, ravaged by monsters of all kinds and some forces from the base inside to face Link and stop him from completing his quest. But not only that, King Bulblin here again to stop us one last time as he faces us with everything he has. Though the outcome was the same, the conclusion wasn't. For this time he speaks finally, recognizing Link as the strongest, giving him the key he needs to advance, allowing him to use the Boars and to retire his Bulblin army for Link to venture forth inside to face the curse inside the castle. This adds another ally as from the outskirts, the knights have raided Hyrule Castle to retake it, conquer it back as it shows all of our connections and efforts have paid off. And as we must reach the top to once more complete the Triforce and face the ever so patient Ganondorf, more powerful than ever, as he will challenge Link with nothing holding him back, playing him in all regards, and even using his holy sword he stole, and even Midna would meet a terrible battle, but the hero of Twilight cannot be dragged under.
Through the night, I face the fears for those who couldn't fight. I bleed the beast that lurks inside your mind. You cannot hide, cannot hide. I spend every waking moment in my head, fighting off the shadows you had left. But what was left? What was left? I look out on a concrete jungle, roar out at the buildings crumble. I could put this behind me, or just pretend the to never see the dawn. Break again because of what went wrong. I must go alone, so please just go home. Go home. I look out on the concrete jungle, fall out at the buildings crumble. I can put this behind me, or just pretend. And wait out for the chance I stumble. Fall down and my heart might fumble. You will never be like me, so try again. I won't compromise. You must be out of your mind. Smoke is filling up your sky. Look into my eyes. Everything I left behind. What a fate to make this right. Voices I know, they tell me I should come home. Too long I've been on the road, but I am far from home. I won't compromise. You must be out of your mind. Smoke is filling up your skies. Look into my eyes. Everything I left behind. What a fate to make this
With Link finally impaling Ganondorf how it was meant to be, finally in one-on-one battle, the Demon King could not match to the Green Tunic Knight of Hyrule. And his near-death experience is gruelly brutal. Just watch. Just beautifully cathartic. Within this fight, we know of the rage Link had after seeing the helmet from Midna, but instead of letting the darkness overtake him, he faced his battle with the determined composure that was needed. And with the blessing of the light spirits and Princess Zelda's magic, everything was finally ended. And Midna alive looking, holy fuck, you were hiding this? Jesus, this, ladies and gentlemen, is where my first boner happened.
There's no fucking way Midna was an accident. This shit was 100% intentional. Us porn artists aren't exaggerating when we make her ass the size of the fucking sun. I mean, look at this shit. 8%.
But after that comforting scene, to see flirty Midna comfort Link once more, we see finally the healing of Hyrule after the efforts of Link. How the Gorons have taken Sumo once more for a friendly approach, how Kakariko finally is rebuilding, King Boblin now going to a new adventure, now being a ranger of the Hyrule Fields, the kids coming back to Orden as Colin takes on the choice to finally eventually become a knight. The Zora Prince still in mourning, but ready to lead his people to a hopeful path under the blessing of his late mother. The Yeti and his wife making a warm cozy place of a forsaken and forgotten mansion in the most violent weathered of places. But it shows how even with very little, love can amass and grow. All of these lives affected by Link bring a very heavy and beautiful spark of happiness, and in all due honesty, it is what made me love Twilight Princess from beginning to end. As Hyrule heals, so does Midna, as she enacts one last spell after opening the Mirror of Twilight, remembering her adventure with Link, her champion, her hero, her first love. But so must she break this bond, and as light and shadow are not ready to live together, but maybe one day the Twili shall join the world of light again. Even with this farewell, Link willing to stop Midna, showing that there was indeed love from him too, and one that could not be, but one that grew for so much since the first time they met, to grow from begrudgeful hatred to warm, calming love. And so, Hyrule rests once more, and a new hero resides, an old evil has been vanquished, and in a kingdom saved by the player within the twilight gloom from dusk till the dawn of a new age. What made me fall in love with Twilight Princess wasn't the designs that everyone got hyped for, it wasn't the music that brought the creation of a symphony of a goddess, it wasn't the gameplay that infused the controller into a proper swordsman actions with intense combat, or the gargantuan and Goliath-like bosses that made one feel powerful. It was the soothing growth of the hero Link, and his effect in every single person he came across. Both for the good and for the bad, for my actions meant something, and many were optional, but completing them brought more than just bragging rights. It brought joy, it brought a sense of serenity, it brought me pride, pride to be selfless, pride to be caring, pride in being a gentle knight. For Twilight Princess taught me that brutal force does not equal strength. Facing the light and the dark, to tame the beast within one, to stare at the void, and as it stares back, to face it, and live to tell it. That is what makes one strong, and to be strong upon the cruelty of this world is what makes one a true hero.
A sword wields no strength unless the hand that holds it has courage.